Time now for an in-depth look at the market news, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Yuanta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, the Wall Street markets were closed Monday for Memorial Day, but in Europe, stocks were strongly higher on hope for an economic recovery. Looks like most Asian markets were up today, too. Take us through the global markets.
Sure. As you said, global market, other than U.S. market, showed a very strong rise on Monday as well as today. If you look at the European market, yesterday on Monday, it rose by more than 2%. The DAX index, the German index, was up 2.9%, and most of the other indices were up anywhere between 2 to 3%. Because of the optimism over the easing coronavirus-related lockdown measures and signs for the stimulus for the Eurozone economies. The stronger than expected German IFO Business Climate Index for May also supported the sentiment. In addition to that, the Asian markets showed very strong rise on Tuesday. The Japanese market showed a strong rise because of the investors are cheering for the reopening of the economy and hoping that a potential vaccine could help to fight the corona pandemic. In addition to that, various other countries, including Korea, showed very strong rise globally, despite all the concern of the U.S. China trade dispute.
Right, big gains on the Korean markets today as well. Again, it seems on hope for the reopening of major economies. What's the story here?
Yes, as you said, Korean markets showed a very strong move in addition to yesterday's rise. Kospi was up by 1.76%. Kosdaq was up by 1.28%, a very strong rise. And as of today, the 2,000 mark has been broken. Now it's above 2,000 now. If you look at the composite consumer sentiment index, it came out at 77.6 in May from 70.8 from the previous month. And clearly it's showing that the sentiment is improving. And also, if you look at the fundamental numbers, it seems to be very strong, especially for the Kosdaq index. The earnings revisions are going up as the overall industries, particularly the bio sector, is receiving more stronger factors that shows a recovery due to the COVID-19 issues. So Korea's overall fundamentals are improving, and that resulting into the better residual income model target prices, and clearly that is affecting the Korean overall equity market. So I think that there's a sign of a bit of a re-rating for Korean equity market, and we think that should continue throughout the year this year.
Now, as we heard a minute ago, with China lowering its official rate for the yuan, there's talk of a currency war between the U.S. and China. Looking at the Korean currency today, it's a little stronger against the dollar. What's happening with exchange rates, and what effect would a U.S.-China currency war have on the Korean markets?
Right. I think that current concern about the U.S.-China dispute is a bit of a talk rather than actual actions. Clearly, both countries are administrating a very aggressive measures to boost the economy because of the COVID-19 issues. Overall, the economies are slowing down or actually showing a negative growth rate. So obviously, they need to put a very aggressive monetary and fiscal policy, and that's what they're doing. And they like to see the economy recovers. Now, if they actually go through this trade dispute or trade war per se, then obviously the economic recovery is not going to happen, and that is going to be very negative for both the head of the economies. So I don't think that Trump is going to push too hard because he wants to win the re-election. And as for the Chinese, they want to wait until the election actually happens for U.S. So we think that it's a lot about talks rather than the actual actions. So therefore, we think that we should be watching much closely of the current boosting measures rather than these all talks. We think that these boosting measures are very large to the sense that the economy should recover. If that's the case, we think the currency adjustment is not going to be that significant. We think that the dollar index should remain at around 100 range. Also, that will result into probably very stable Korean won currency as well. We think that it should be trading anywhere between 1220 to 1250 range. And that also applies for yuan as well. The yuan should be trading somewhere between 7 to 7.3, we think. So overall, yes, the currency issues is remaining, but nevertheless, we think that the boosting measures are much bigger and larger issue for the market.
Got it. All right, Mr. Yu, we'll have to leave it there for today. Thanks so much for sharing your insights.
Thank you very much.